how you guys doing? This is Mr. Shapiro, and what I'm going to show you guys how to do is I'm going to show you guys how to import photos onto Adobe Lightroom off of your camera's SD card, and then export them from Adobe Lightroom and turn them in on a Google folder, which I've created for you guys to turn in your assignment. Okay, so what I'm going to start with is I'm going to start by getting my SD card. I took it out of the bottom of my camera. It's right next to the battery, and I'm going to take it. It's in my left hand, and I'm going to put it in on the left-hand side of the computer by putting it into the slot where it fits, and like the label for it is facing me, and I'm gonna put it in like that. Okay, so it's in there now, and then and you can see that pops up, right? Okay, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open up Adobe Lightroom, and Adobe Lightroom is right here on your desktop, you guys, right? Okay, so you can easily just open that up, and when you open it up, what's going to happen is that I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to click this thing that says import. You guys got it? Okay. And when I go to import, basically I have to pick a source, and if my card's in there, that's the source that's going to pop up immediately. You can see I can change the source by going right here. It could be something on my computer or whatever, right? But we're going to stick with our card, right? And our SD card is right here, and you guys can see these are all the pictures that are on my card that have been taken throughout a bunch of days here, right? Okay, you guys got it? And I'm not going to import all these because I'm not dealing with all these. So what I'm doing is I'm going to hit uncheck all, and I'm just going to check the pictures that I want to import. And let's say I'm turning in an assignment that's for the skateboarding one. So I'm going to go through these, and I'm just going to check the ones where I see somebody skateboarding. You see that, right? Kind of scrolling through, and usually they kind of come in order. Not all the times, but a lot of times they just kind of come in order. So I'm looking for these skateboarding shots, and that looks to be my skateboarding shots right there. Okay. So I'm going to click that. All right. And sometimes they won't allow you to check them, and that's because this box right here is checked. So what you want to do is uncheck it. All right. And what I'm going to do right here is I'm going to rename these files. And the way that I'm going to rename them is I'm going to name them custom name sequence. Okay. And what that's going to do is it's going to allow me to type in any name that I want. And it's going to tell me picture number 1, picture number 2, picture number 3, picture number 4. So I'm going to do is I'm going to type in a title here. And then the title I'm going to do is with the date. And it's the year is 2018. So I'm going to put in 18. The month is October. It's the 9th month. So I'm going to put in 09. And then it's the 18th of the month. So I'm going to put in 18 as well. And then I'm going to do my last name, Shapiro. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here, and I'm going to hit import, and it's just going to import those pictures that I checked off. So here we go. It's importing those pictures now. Okay. Now one thing I want to show you about this, right, is I can actually look at these pictures like this, and if I click on them, I can make them bigger. You see that? And if I use the arrows, I can kind of go through them. Okay. Now one thing that I like to do is I like to go through the pictures, and I like to take a look at them when they're bigger, and I can decide whether or not they're good pictures or not. So if I think this one isn't good because his face is all blurry right here, right, what I can do is I can hit X, and it rejects that picture. But if I like this one right here, this one's better, I hit P, and it flags it. You can see on the one that I X'd out, there's this little black flag with an X on it, and on the one that I chose, I flagged this little white flag. That tells me this is a good one, right? I'm going to keep this one too. I think that's a good one. So I'm going to hit P, and I'm going to flag it. Okay. Now, one of the reasons we're importing these to Lightroom, you guys, is because you can do all sorts of cool stuff to your photos in Lightroom. If I click this develop module thing, there's all sorts of things I can do. I can change the color, right? I can change the exposure, which is how well lit the picture is, right? Okay. I can click on this, and I can crop, right? And there's all these other little things that I can do as well, and you'll learn how to do these things throughout the semester. Okay, but I'm not going to deal too much with that today. Okay, so now that I've imported my photos, I'm ready to export them. Okay, so exporting, what I want to do is I just want to select the photos that I want to actually turn in. Okay, so the first photo that I'm going to turn in is this one, and you guys see how it's highlighted down here? Well, I want this one as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit Control. I'm going to click right there, and that highlights them both. If they're both not highlighted, they're both not selected. Okay, so I highlighted them both right here. Now, if I wanted this one, I could press Control, and I could click right here as well. Another thing I could do is I could click on the first one and the last one, and hold down Shift, and it will select all 3 of them. If I don't want this one, I'm pressing Control again, and I'm clicking on it, and just these 2 are selected. So now I've selected my photos, and what I'm ready to do is I'm ready to export. To export, I have to go back to library. Those 2 photos are selected, and I'm going to hit export. Got it? Okay, so now where am I going to export them to? I have to pick a folder, right? Okay, so I'm going to pick a specific folder here. So I'm going to hit choose. And this one's allowing me to download it to the desktop. But if it doesn't allow you to do it to the desktop, what you can do is you can click this PC, right? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to eject my SD card on the left-hand side. So I'm pushing it in, and it pops out. And I'm going to put it right back in. And you'll see what ends up happening is that card is going to pop up right here. And that's where I'm going to export it to, is this card right here, okay? I'm going to select folder, okay? Now, what I want to do is I want to put it in a subfolder, and I want to name this folder. Same thing like I did with the title of the pictures, the date, 18/09/18. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my last name, and I'm going to put skateboarding. So I know who took the pictures, and I know which shoot it is, okay? Now, in terms of renaming the file, I don't need to do that because I already named it during the import, right? There it is right there. But if I needed to, and I forgot during my import, I could always do the same thing. Again, the year, 18, the month, 09, the day, 18, and my last name. Cool? One more thing that I have to do right here is I have to resize the image to fit. So I'm going to hit resize to fit. And what I'm always going to do is I'm going to go to long edge, and then make this 1500. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here to resolution. I'm going to make this 300 pixels per inch, or 300 ppi. Okay, so now I'm all set, and I can hit export. And it's exporting, and I can see that right up here. And once I've done that, I'm ready to exit out of Lightroom, and I'm ready to get my pictures off of my card and turn them into Google Classroom. So I'm going to open up Google Classroom really quickly. And on Google Classroom, you guys will see that I posted a folder for you guys entitled Skateboarders. I'm going to open that folder up. Okay. Now, nobody's turned anything in yet on this, so it's blank, right? Okay, I'm going to put my folder in there. So the way that I do that is I'm going to reach to the left-hand side of the computer. I'm going to eject my card again. And then I'm going to pop it back in again. And what you guys will see is this thing will pop up right here that gives me access to my folder. Here it is, right? And now what I can do is I can drag it and drop it. And that folder's in there. Now I want you guys to notice something. When I drag and I drop, a lot of other people's folders might be in here. If I do that, I'm dropping it inside somebody else's folder, which is what I do not want. What I want to do is I want to drop it like that, so it adds to that folder. You guys got it? Another good thing to do is to click on your folder and make sure that all the pictures that you want to turn in are in there, because that's what I'm going to open up, right? So click on it, make sure that the pictures that you wanted are in there. Otherwise, you might have to go back and do this again and do it correctly. Okay? You guys got it? One more thing that I'm going to do, this is the last thing I'm going to do, is I'm going to go back to this right here. I'm going to click on this folder. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this to my drive. And what I can do is I can open this up, and I can click on both these shots, right? And you guys see how right here, I can make copies of these. I'm going to make copies of them. And I get these two right here that I made copies of. And I'm going to go back to my drive, and I'm going to create a folder that's just going to be called photography. And I'm going to keep all of my stuff in there from this semester. Create. Okay. And then if I go back to that other one that I was in, which is the skateboarding folder, I have these two pictures right here. I'm clicking on both of them. I'm going to hit this, and I'm going to hit move to. I'm going to put them in my photography folder, right? So I'm in my drive. I'm going to go to my photography folder. Sorry, I know I have a lot of folders here. There it is. I'm going to move them here. Okay, so now the two ones that I had in there are in there, and then I have them in my drive as well. So that's pretty much it. They're turned in, and I'm all set to go. So last thing I want to do is I always want to make sure to take out my SD card. It's on the left-hand side of my computer, right? So I can go like this, and I can hit eject, or I can just pop it out, and I'm all set. Okay, that's pretty much it. That's how you do it.